Yo, good people, what's good? What's going on? You guys are listening to and watching your favorite podcast, The Statement, with my boy Tyrone. Shout out to Lorenzo, cameraman. Shout out to Julian getting everything set up. Thank you to the whole video team. Everybody, we appreciate you guys so much. Tyrone, how you feeling, man? Because you had a funny story we was just talking about earlier.
Yeah, man, I'm doing okay right now. At the moment, I'm a little, but I'm okay. I do my own little podcast thing too. And when you're trying to accommodate guests, sometimes you have to do things that you don't really want to do or go out of your way. So I'm kind of just in a situation like that at the moment, trying to be accommodating. Leave it at that.
I feel it. And how was your spring break, man? Like I think we're just now getting back. Yeah, it's the first week back and got 5 weeks left. So how you feeling?
My spring break was, it didn't really feel like a spring break to me. Mm-hmm. For one, I had to come down to the admissions office, or not admissions, but advisor's office for like literally 5 minutes. I had to come down here for something, a hold on my account, and she was just like, click the button. It was like, okay, it's gone now. And then I had to turn right back around and go back home. 3 hours round trip, mind you, to get from my house.
One button.
But
Hey, that's life, man. That's life. Tyrone, man, being with you, this podcast has been fun. Khalif Robinson, that interview, doing numbers. We're almost at 100 views, and it's only been like 2 or 3 days. That's really dope. And I already told you earlier, Instagram is trying to hold us back because I try to promo it. Because if you guys are aware, you can go on Instagram. I've been doing this for years. You can promo your content, and you can pay like a good $10 for quote-unquote impressions and all this other
bunch of weird words,
different terminology, things like that. And when I was going to it, they have this new rule that you can't post something that's a screenshot from YouTube nor Facebook, and the screenshots, both of them, because you can post like 2 pictures in one. So both of those came from one from a YouTube screenshot of the podcast and one from Khalif's Facebook. So it's like, wow. But it's all good because we still gonna do numbers. We still gonna do what we do. And speaking of the podcast, we're gonna go straight into these great topics that we have today. And first off, Mr. Jussie
Smollett. So I know a lot of you, I know we were on episode 7 last time, but and before that it was 6. Let's just say there's an infinite amount of numbers between 6 and 7. So we've been following this Jussie Smollett case for a while.
Big facts.
But you guys probably haven't heard us cover it all.
It's been a minute.
But we've been covering it from the beginning. When it first broke, we talked about the skeptics and how things didn't seem quite right and things are fishy. And then obviously as the news escalated, there was the video of the 2 men purchasing the mask and the red hat. There was the surveillance video of the men walking, the whole shebang bang.
All that.
And now I guess you could say it's come to a head now. Because just I want to say that was not even last week, less than a week ago, the Chicago PD and the prosecution and all of those people came forward and said that they were dropping all charges.
Facts. When you text me about it, I was like, Tyrone, this thing is crazy, because I think what makes the case so interesting, we don't know what's true. We don't know, because I think people get this misconception that just because cases get dropped that this person is innocent. That's not necessarily true. What happens is the prosecutor probably 9 times out of 10 does not have enough evidence to convict the person. So when I see people saying, I told you so about Jussie, it's like, there y'all go again. Y'all don't understand how things work.
And it's so funny because people clowned R. Kelly in his interview when Gail asked him about his previous case, and he was like, I beat my case. And everybody was like, no, you didn't. You just got acquitted, or just,
That's beating the case, bro.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, come on now. But I don't know. For me, one of the interesting things about it, or a take from it that I thought, because a lot of people were saying, Chicago PD has a history of being corrupt. Or, they're not the most reliable source of people to go through or whatever. But I feel like that works counterproductively towards the people making that point.
Right.
Because if we are operating under the idea that, okay, yes, the Chicago PD is corrupt, that they're easily bought off and things like that, then I think that adds more to the case of Jussie Smollett probably put money in the right pockets and just made this whole thing go away.
Maybe so.
So, I don't think if anything, it just makes it all the more fishy because there's still some outlandish things about this case that are now just going to be.
It's so wild.
Like the video of the guys purchasing the mask is pretty damning footage.
Yeah.
And now and not to mention the documents of the case are sealed.
Yes.
Like no one can see them.
Yep. So, Tyrone, do you think that with this Jussie case, is this showing people how naive we can be to receiving information, dissecting information? Because it's like I saw this climate of people even after the whole thing came out, because when you text me, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this right now. And two, seeing people being so quick again, posting stuff like I told you so, CPD is so corrupt, yada yada yada. It's like everybody has a conclusion so fast now. So do you think that this showed that, hey, even after hearing that he technically quote unquote beat the case, that we still have to understand how legalities work? Like, just because somebody beat the case doesn't mean that they're in. OJ Simpson beat his case, but not because of purely he was innocent, but there were holes in the argument. Yeah. Jussie, there were holes in the argument of trying to convict him, because could you purely say, hey, he did this? No.
Yeah, I think it definitely is that, and I think it also has to do with what was I gonna say? I really just drew a blank.
Tyrone's getting old, y'all.
I am. But it to me, I was like, this whole thing yes, to address your point, yes, I think it does. People just want to confirm their own things. So as soon as they see the first bit of information that confirms what they believe, people are gonna jump to it, and it just becomes, that's the law. Facts. At that point. But also, what I think a lot of people don't realize is that lawyers speak and government speak is it's its own language, and I think a lot of people don't realize, that words have meaning. So, right. It's like, they'll say this mean, you have to ask like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, right. People are saying the case was dropped. So what does that mean? The case is sealed. What does that mean? Right. Like, and then there was something, I'm not really too sure about it, but I'm not sure if it's the DA or a prosecutor, but somebody recused themselves during the whole thing and was just like, okay, I'm going to eliminate myself from this whole case. But then she was the one who came forward and then ended up dropping the case, saying that they didn't have enough information or whatever. But here's also my take on it. I believe that because at the end of the day, I didn't want Jussie Smollett to go to jail. I didn't feel like this was a big enough offense for him to, have all those felonies on his name and then have to have a record on him and fall. I feel like him being a public figure and this blowing up in the limelight the way it did, I feel like, honestly, if I was a prosecutor, I would have been like, I feel like you've learned your lesson here. Whether you did it or didn't do it, whatever happened here, I feel like a lesson has been learned here.
Facts. And Tyrone, I agree. I think that although he wasn't convicted, his image is still tainted. I don't care what anyone says. Like, there's still drama around that name because, even again, pointing back to O.J. Simpson's case, although he was innocent, his image was still tainted. Right. So sometimes, even if there is a lie that's put on you, if the lie is so big, you can't really overcome that. That's when it comes to rape, when it comes to Me Too movement. Even if somebody accuses you, sometimes the lie is so big that you can't overcome that lie. And CNN posted this article. Again, we read, guys, so we got a quick little excerpt from CNN. But they said prosecutors who dropped felony charges against actor Jussie Smollett over his report of a hate crime attack have fundamentally misled the public on the law and circumstances surrounding the dismissal. An Illinois lawyer, or a lawyers group, has just said the way Cook County State's attorney Kim Fox in her office resolved the case was also abnormal and unfamiliar to those who practice law, who wrote the Illinois Prosecutors Bar Association. So the scathing statement issued Thursday follows claims by Fox and her top deputy Joe Maggots, I don't want to call him Maggot, but that alternative prosecution, like the resolution brokered in Smollett's case, is not uncommon and is also available to all defendants, celebrity or not. So Smollett, him getting off the case, like what you said, with some people dropping from it, I think that it's this very interesting thing. I don't even know what to think about it. It's so confusing. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. I don't know the ins and outs of it because, again, and you said it very well, it's like people have made things that are sealed, so we don't know the details. So I'm not going to be on social media. You know, I'm not knocking anybody that's on social media, you know, talking about this case, but you're not going to find me on social media talking about something that I don't know about, because I don't want to, you know, retract a statement or say I said the wrong thing. So yeah,
I think at this point arguing it is like arguing like quantum physics or something. Like it doesn't really make sense to anyone, honestly. Like, you can try and build an argument for one side, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense for either side at this point. Because there's just nowhere to go now. So
that's facts, man. And I think it's so interesting because I see so many different conversations just going down. The Grapevine is a great YouTube channel, and they talk about black issues. They have young black millennials talking. And watching the show, I got to see different people's perspectives on this issue. I had the great opportunity to see people that were part of the LGBTQ plus community, just straight black men, straight black women, gay black women. So, you know, just seeing people's approach. And I get why so many people are so passionate about this, because we have gay black men who say that these things actually do happen, and that this case was a perfect case. This is like their Trayvon Martin, if you will, for them to say, see, I told you so. Like, this exists. But I think what makes this different is that we're talking about Trump supporters deliberately attacking somebody who is a black gay man.
And notice they've dropped that narrative completely.
Right. And I think that they got so focused on the Jussie thing, or two, that they got so focused on a gay black man being attacked rather than the whole dynamics of the issue. And I think that I was able to learn from a gay black man's perspective about the issue. But I think too that what people have to understand, although you may have a dog in the fight, that this whole thing is so complex that we don't know everything. So we can't say, hey, this person or straight black men are part of the issue, or that white men are part of the issue, or that black women are part of the issue, or the black community, which I get to a certain extent, but we can't use this case as a pinpoint because we don't know anything about this case at all.
And we probably never will.
Right.
My question for you is this the end of this story? Like, are we done with Jussie Smollett? Well, not done with him, but like, are we done with this whole fiasco?
We should be, man. Honestly, we should have been done with this story months ago. And I think that we constantly keep talking about the same things over and over. And I think with news, it's built off of sensation, and it's not about facts anymore. Like, and you know, I'm not trying to sound like Trump talking about alternative facts. I'm not going that far, but it's not built off of true things that we can actually use. Because it's like, how does this Jussie case right now, after we've talked about it, exhausted this issue so much, how does this truly affect our lives?
Yeah, and like that's the thing, back to like, it doesn't make sense. Like, we did all of it, and like, we didn't take a step forward. We didn't take a step back. We kind of just we're just here.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see what role Jussie Smollett gets next.
Yeah.
You know, he was an alien. He was an Alien Covenant. Random. Oh, wow. He died in that movie, by the way.
And he's 36. I didn't know he was that
really
old. Yeah, he's 36.
You know, his sister was in The Great Debaters.
Yes, Journey.
Yeah.
Journey's a beast. She was in that. She was in a lot of stuff. She was in Selma Laura Selma. I remember that on Disney Channel.
Yeah, I don't even remember how I found out they were related.
Last names. And he was actually in the show Underground that Journey was in. That show should have never got canceled. He was in that show for 2 episodes, and he did a great job. So
yeah, I'm interested to see, because, you know, a lot of celebrities, you know, they're hyper aware of what their perception is.
Facts.
So they lean into it a little bit, into their roles. So I would love to see him start doing roles now where he's like a shady person.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, that's gonna be very interesting. Is he gonna play a liar? Is he gonna play this type of person, that type of person? So we'll see, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. But until then, I don't want to hear any more about
the same thing.
about Jussie Smollett and cases and him.
Conspiracy theories.
You know, I just hope he doesn't beat himself too bad about.
Facts. He probably won't. Hey, he beat the case. He's free now. He's chilling. You know, Jussie won't be called Juicy, so it was good. That was funny because they said his name's Juicy Smollett now. But shout out to Jussie, man. He's gonna be all right. Are you ready for some trivia, Tyrone? Are you ready for this thing?
Okay.
Let's do it. Hey, we are back with trivia, man. We took a few weeks off, but now we're back. So, trivia question, man.
All right.
We're going to actually pull up the visual for the people, see if they actually get this thing right real quick. As you guys see, we are working with the laptop right now. The TV, if people don't know the backstory, was not working. Me and Tyrone talked to maintenance, or the people at the front desk, and he said that maintenance didn't pick up the phone.
What maintenance?
What maintenance? That's it right there. What maintenance? So, this trivia question I got pulled up for you, man. If you're going to be ready, let's see if you're going to get this right. And everybody at home, we're going to drop down the options for you too. So, trivia, who started Negro History Week, which then later became Black History Month in 1976?
It's good.
Option A, Carter G. Woodson. Option B, Fannie Lou Hamer. Option C, Andrew Young. So I'm going to go through the options all again. Option A, Carter G. Woodson.
Mm-hmm. Option
B, Fannie Lou Hamer. Option C, Andrew Young.
I feel like if it was Andrew Young, people would still be talking about that because he's alive. So I feel people would still be talking about that if he started that.
Okay.
Who were the first two?
Option A, Carter G. Woodson. Option B, Fannie Lou Hamer.
I'm gonna go with A. First choice.
Oh man, you are correct. Tyrone got it right. Hey, he's on the road today. Carter G. Woodson started Negro History Week, which later became Black History Month. So shout out to you, Carter G. Woodson, man.
The more you know.
February just passed. Well, not just passed. Now March is about to pass, but yeah, Black History Month, man.
So what's his name?
Carter G. Woodson.
Carter G. So from there, do we go from Carter G to Cardi B? Good segue.
That was fire.
I gotta give you that one.
That was fire. See, when we were making the storyboard, when I shared it with Tyrone, I actually didn't have Cardi B in the storyboard until before the show. I was on my phone, and thanks to social media, sometimes it is a good thing, and I forgot about Cardi. So lately, we've been having the Me Too movement. We've been having this discussion about men being toxic, or guys not knowing how to deal with women properly, being gentlemen, and instead drugging women, having sex with women, doing things against their will. But now, what makes this so interesting, and now what makes this dynamic very, very insightful, is that are women going to be held to the same standard, irregardless of their status, similar to R. Kelly, who was the king of R&B, similar to Bill Cosby, who was every Black American's father. Now, are we going to hold the same standard to everyone's favorite female rapper right now, Cardi B? And recently she said on Instagram, or word got out, that she used to drug men and have sex with them. Okay. And that is against their will, and that counts as what, Tyrone? Date what?
Rape.
All right.
Okay, but first, let me clear some things up.
To clear it up for him.
Because, so she never said she had sex with him.
Yes.
She never said she had sex with him.
What did she say?
So there are two videos that
circulate on Instagram.
Exactly. So it should be noted that the videos that came out were, I believe they're like 3 years old. So it was a resurfaced live, Instagram live video she did before this whole Cardi B music wave started. I don't even know if she was on Love.
She started on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't even know if this was. I don't even know if she was on Love and Hip Hop at the time of this live. But so an old video resurfaced of Cardi B. So in one video she claims that back when she was stripping, or when she was in the heyday of her stripping days, she would. What's the word I'm looking for? She would give the impression to men that she would have sex with them for money or whatever the men were looking for, whatever was going on. She would claim that she would do that. So then instead, what she would do is when she would get to the room, she would drug them in, and while they were drugged out, she would rob them, essentially. And that's pretty much where that ended. But there's also another video where she's just talking to women. And she's like, if your man's cheating on you, or he's not making you feel whatever, you can drug him and make him think he's having sex with you, but he's actually having sex with a transgender person, or transsexual, or I'm not quite sure what the correct terminology is there. But so those are the two things, and people are kind of putting them together. So she was not having sex with these men while they were drugged. So just want to clear that up. But I guess we should just start with this umbrella term. It is wrong. Drugging people without their consent is wrong.
It's sad that we have to say this.
Got to clear all bases. Got to start with that umbrella term. Drugging people is wrong.
Yep.
Now that we've got that established, do I think what Cardi B did was as heinous as what Bill Cosby or R. Kelly or any of these other men have been accused of or convicted of? No,
because she don't have bodies like that compared to them.
You know, but I honestly just don't think that they're on the same level.
No, I agree, because it's like when we talk about Cardi, again, there's a lot of gray area. Like, we actually don't know. And also, like, when I say bodies, I'm saying that R. Kelly, like, there is so many people.
Right.
Bill Cosby, there's multiple women.
Right.
Cardi B, you know, we don't have guys coming forth and saying anything.
And I feel like the reason why men won't come forward, for most of the reason, one, just out of, you know, hyper masculinity. No man is going to want to be the guy who's like, I was taken advantage of. But two is because the circumstances under which this happened was already something illegal going on. So, you know, you were soliciting sex from a person and then you ended up getting robbed. I mean, that's like telling the police that your drug dealer ripped you off.
Right,
like,
right,
you just can't, you don't, I mean, you just have to chalk it up to the game, honestly.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, you know, I'm not out here in these streets like that, but I've spoken to older people or heard from people who have been in these surroundings that, you know, when you're out here playing these street games, you know, you sometimes have to get street rewards, and that's just a cost of being out there. And like I said, obviously it's wrong. Drugging people is wrong. Big time. But Joe Budden brought up a good point, and I'm probably going to be referencing me a lot on this because he brought up two good points about this. But one of them was that, would we have cared if she just came out and said she held men at gunpoint and robbed them? If she said she held men at gunpoint and robbed them, would it have even been a talking point?
She probably would have got street cred for that, honestly.
Honestly, yes. But I think the operative word of saying she drugged men, I think that is where the whole the problem comes in. Because like you said, with people like Bill Cosby and things like that. So now drugging people kind of has like, you know, this negative, I mean, it's a bad thing. Facts. When you hear that, you automatically take it all the way to the end of a certain road. But to contrast, though, if we are going to say that there are different standards, we look at Rick Ross. I believe that was in
He had to deal with Reebok.
Yes, in 2013, he had to deal with Reebok, and then he had a lyric in one of his songs.
You know it.
Yeah, you know it. And he mentions dropping a drug in a woman's drink, and she didn't know it. Now, he didn't say he had sex with a woman. He didn't say that anything happened, but he just said drop it in her drink and she didn't know it. And he ended up losing his endorsement deal with Reebok, and he had to deal with this whole public backlash thing. So that's where people are, you know, saying that, okay, well, where's the consistency?
Facts. I think too, in even speaking on Rick Ross's situation, Reebok, what I don't like, you're sponsoring a rapper dummy. He's not going to say everything that's PC, bro.
Correct.
First of all, in that same song, or even in his latest album, there's lyrics about killing people. There's lyrics about selling drugs. But you're trying to tell me that one lyric about that gets his deal cut. But think about Rick Ross before he's become this mogul. He was a trap Rick Ross talking about drugs and stuff. So you knew what and who you were signing. So that's what I have a major issue with. Next, with Cardi, you know, double standards do exist. Cardi, of course, a woman, if she says this compared to a man talking about drugging a woman or I robbed a woman, he would have been canceled by now. But at the same time, I think that we can't cancel Cardi because cancel culture is a real thing. And I think, too, is that this was something that if she said that she did, then she did it. But at the same time, a lot of people have done things that they aren't proud of. So these same people, if we want to cancel her, we have to be aware. How would you feel if someone brought up everything that you did from your past?
Exactly.
So I think that we have to be very careful. And all that I'm just saying is, too, is that people, we have to keep that same energy. Or if you're not willing to keep that same energy, then we got to stop canceling people. Because if you're quick to cancel so many people, Aziz Ansari, you know, when we spoke about that, even when it was something that wasn't true, that people still try to cancel him. But with Cardi, it's like she gets a pass. And I'm not saying that Cardi doesn't deserve one. I'm just saying, again, that we have no consistency whatsoever when it comes to who can be canceled and who can't be canceled. Also, we have to watch the double standard that we have for men and women. And just like how that there's this double standard for women, which truly exists, there is a double standard for men as well. There's certain things that a woman can do to a man that a man can't do, and that we have to be aware of those things, and that we have to be consistent. We got to be consistent on both sides.
Yeah. If I'm being completely honest about the Cardi B thing, I think I think this is an example of one of those fake outrages.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest, like, you know, because honestly, like I said, all she said, if she had never said she drugged those men, if she just said she robbed them, this would not have been an issue. But with everything that's going on, I guess men felt like, okay, well, women, women have been getting us on this for a while, so let's stick it to their star player right now and see how it works. But you know, the problem is Cardi B is on too big of a high right now. Like nothing can knock her off.
Yeah, except for herself.
Yeah, but a thing that, and another thing that Joe Budden brought up that I thought was an interesting point, because you know Cardi B is very vocal that she's only really in this music thing for the money. Like she's doing this because she knows this is how her bills get paid. Facts. You know, and then nothing wrong with that. Yep, perfectly fine with it. Do what you got to do to get a check. However, it seems like when things start to go south, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is my culture. This is hip hop. This is what we do. You know, we talk about this, that, and this. So it's like
it's convenient.
Yeah. So you know, I'm all for people being in love with the culture, and I'm all for people doing this rap thing for the money.
That's real. That's real.
But you got to pick one.
Yeah, got to, man. And I think that we got to stop overusing the word culture. If I hear that one more freaking time, it's like, because people say this word so much, thanks to the Migos, but they don't truly understand what it means. Like, just because you wear something isn't part or isn't for the culture. Like, for me, when people keep saying it's for the culture, it's for the culture, to me, what it should mean is, how are you progressing hip-hop? How are you progressing the black community? Because when people say for the culture, and that's something too that I think that people are getting afraid to just blatantly say, and that's how things get misinterpreted. For the culture, when the Migos said that, and if you just think about it, they're talking about either Atlanta, and then when it got popularized, it's for the black community, and the black community is synonymous with what? Urban hip-hop.
Right.
But now we are getting to the point that we'll have people that's not black saying it's for the culture. And of course, you know, you can be part of the team, but it's like we gotta not get so swayed off of just saying things just to say it and realize what we're saying. Because now we have people in every single brand or network saying it's for the culture, and now it's everything's getting lost because we're not really realizing what we're saying. So like, for instance, with Cardi, when she's saying it's for the culture, what are you even talking about? Do you even know what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's just using it as a blanket to hide behind. I think a good equivalency of it for people who just, you know, can't really wrap their head around, for people who work any regular 9-to-5 job that they hate, you know, you're only going in there for the money. Like, at the end of the day, you're not going in there to make Walmart
because you love it,
the best Walmart in the world. You're not trying to push Walmart in a new progressive direction. You're just like, hey, man, I'm here just so I can get a check and leave. I could care less about the Walmart culture.
Facts.
And I think that, you know, it's just like you get in trouble at work, and then all of a sudden, like, no, that's just what we do here at Walmart. That's just, and it's like, no, man, that's not what we do. That's what you do at Walmart.
It's the culture at Walmart.
Yeah,
it's for the culture at Walmart. So that's Cardi, man. Speaking on crazy things, man, this one, I've got to tell you about this story. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Jordan Bell for the Golden State Warriors, if you guys haven't already heard, this had me in tears, was ordering porn at a hotel. So the Golden State Warriors, they were at some city away game, and he was ordering porn in his hotel room, right? Okay. But instead of him ordering porn under his name, he was ordering it under his assistant coach's name. So the assistant coach was getting charged for porn, and he's married. Oh, wow. So he was getting charged for that. And when word got out, Jordan Bell got suspended by the team, and he's missing one game check, and that is over $9,500. And right now, this is blowing up because some people think that this is tarnishing the name of the NBA or Jordan Bell, Golden State. So, from your opinion, do you believe that this is something worthy to be suspended a whole game for?
Well, firstly, my take is, I think Jordan Bell is one heck of a team player, because I think the assistant coach was like, hey, man, I can't have this on my record, man. You got to come out and
you got to take this fall.
You got to take this fall for me, bro. So that's my initial take on it. But two, I think this goes probably into a broader topic with I think America's, we kind of have this, I I don't even know the word for it. Like, we're almost scared of like sex and nudity and things like that. We're kind of very backwards on how we view it. Like, we're very overt with it, but as soon as you talk about it, it's like, whoa, bro, chill out. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, like, porn is a $1 billion industry,
multi-billion,
and it's not like nobody's watching it. So I don't understand why the NBA is, or
man,
I don't know, man. Like, it's just a normal human thing. Like, I don't understand.
It's hilarious.
Even if he was doing it in the privacy of his own.
He was, man. He was. I think that this is very bizarre. Golden State, as a team, has had so many different stories throughout this year with KD and Draymond. Then we got DeMarcus Cousins, and we got Steve Kerr arguing with Draymond Green and saying he's tired of his bleep and all this stuff, man. So I think Golden State, this is the end of an era. I really believe that because it's so much drama, but they're so good. So I think they're probably still going to keep winning. But I think right now for Jordan Bell I think he just needs to lay low. But it's really not too much to be embarrassed about.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't really understand, like, what do they want him to do? Like,
right. Take a shower.
Yeah, or there's probably like use the internet like a normal person.
Right. And two, but what has been extremely funny, there's been so many videos by guys who make NBA videos and stuff. And one of the guys said, why not just go on your phone, bro?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, come on, bro. It's 2019,
You're
man.
Going
like
to the TV in the hotel. And I think, too, what was weird, it's just...
It has to be the assistant coach. It has to be the assistant coach, bro. Because no person under the age of 35 is...
And Jordan Bell, I think, is like 22, 23.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Jordan Bell. TV? And what is he? Is he like a...
Jordan Bell, he comes off the bench, but he's a very key player on the team.
Well, yeah. He was like, look.
If you want some more minutes.
Look, man, I need you to take this one for me.
Yeah, man, because this is very weird. Because I'm like, why would he order it under Mike Brown, the assistant coach, used to be LeBron James' head coach on the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. But he ordered the porn under Mike Brown's name, bro. And this is weird on so many levels because... Why specifically Mike Brown? Why under his name? Why not mess with Steve Kerr, the head coach, or one of the Water Boys? Or
I could believe that too. Maybe they were doing it as a joke. Maybe
that's
they were
what
like,
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because under one of the videos that one of the popular NBA people posted, Jordan Bell actually dropped a comment under it with laughing emojis. So if he's laughing about it, I think that he knows something like what you said.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to say anything either. We are going to break this down to either one or two conclusions, Tyrone. Either he ordered this under Mike Brown's name to, like what you said, take one for the team, or this was a prank. I think that it was most likely a prank.
Yeah, I could believe it. 22-year-olds, we think that kind of stuff is funny sometimes, I guess. For the awkward interaction of going to the concierge and they're like, oh well, you have some bills. So
the assistant coach when he goes up to the front desk.
Yeah, so
that's facts.
I think they probably blew that one a little bit out of proportion. I don't understand what a game suspension, like, what is that teaching him? Like,
don't order any.
Yeah. That's a weird one.
This is really weird.
That's a weird one.
On to the next topic, man. This is something that was very interesting as well, man. Throughout the week, you texted me and you told me about it. And right when you told me about it, I was like, this is fishy. With the NFL trying to put some trash on my boy Cap's name by saying that he only accepted a settlement for $10 million, which cannot be true.
That's the rumor.
Yes, and what I found so funny was that a week prior to that, or the same week that his settlement was announced, 2 days prior, the American Alliance Football League, known as the AAF, posted, or one of the people, I think it was Bill Polian or somebody, said that, hey, Kaepernick, he's not trying to accept coming and playing for this minor football league because he wants $25 million. And he said if it's not more than 25, he's not playing. Mind you, word got out that I believe that Kaepernick's team, looked this up just to make sure, said that they didn't even talk to them yet. So that right there was showing that, hey, the NFL is trying to start narratives, things like that. And what do you know? The next day, Cap's settlement is announced. And it was reported between somewhere in the range of 60 and 80 mil. So let's say that Cap did speak with them and that it was true that he would not accept anything less than 25. Why would he accept 10 million?
Yeah, that was a weird number being thrown around, and that was a rumor, and then the rumor on top of that rumor is that the NFL is just trying to discredit what Colin Kaepernick has done, because they know full and well the one of the conditions of the settlement was that he's not allowed to speak about it.
Right.
So obviously he can't. He's really just in he's vulnerable position right now. He's at the mercy of the people.
Facts.
So I could definitely see this being a play on their end, just trying to, I feel like that's a business thing. I think they're just trying to be like CYOA, and I think they're just. I don't know. It was weird. Like I said, $10 million is a ridiculously low number for an NFL quarterback.
10 mil. And you're trying to tell me that Cap, he went through all of that just to only accept $10 million. Like, we got to use common sense here. And two, think about this. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar industry, so they know exactly what they're doing. And also, they are completely aware of, hey, we can get these writers, we can get these reporters to go out here and say, hey, start this thing or say this. Because if you think about it, reporting and breaking news, all this stuff is all from sources and speculation.
Correct.
Sometimes it's not even factual. I remember LeBron James, the decision. There were so many people saying he was going to sign with the New Jersey Nets because of Jay-Z. And hey, when it happened, Miami Heat. Everybody was expecting the Nets, the Knicks.
I do remember that.
Yeah, because I remember Chris Broussard was like, I know for a fact. I've spoken to his agent. I've spoken to his whole team, his camp. He's going to go to the Nets. He's going to be with Jay-Z. Wow. And he went to Miami.
That would have been a crazy career path.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So I think, too, that right there shows us, hey, man, like, we can't listen to everything. And also, we have to use common sense. Kaepernick beat the NFL. And they know that the only way that they can try to get him back is by dropping things that will make us question his credibility. Because that's all that Cap has really right now. Because he can't tell us how much he won. So all he has is... he's Cap. Like, he sacrificed something. So the NFL is aware, if we just taint his image just a little bit, or even if we make people question how valid he is, we can win. So, because Cap really won. Cap took that knee, he got the check, and now he's out. And now he doesn't have to play football.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Johnny Manziel went to the AAFL.
I saw some highlights.
So, I mean.
He looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but... I mean, we'll see. I just think that that's disrespectful, though.
Very much so.
He just played in the Super Bowl back in 2012, and I get it. Caleb, 2012 was so long ago. But even after that, Kaepernick's last year, people don't look this up. I think he had 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had like a 90% QBR. But they try to say he was falling off, but he played on a team that only won 2 games or 1 game that year, and he didn't have any receivers, really. He didn't have a great team. Like, the 49ers used to be solid for a few years, but they were deteriorating as a team, and he did his thing, and he did the best that he could have done. And you're trying to tell me that his last year, he had stats like that, better than Kirk Cousins, who got paid and is the highest paid quarterback in the league right now. And you're trying to tell me that he needs to play minor league football. But we have backup quarterbacks like Geno Smith, E.J. Manuel, Blaine Gabbert, and these quarterbacks haven't accomplished half the things that Cap has accomplished. So,
yeah, man, it's a sad thing. Let's see. Are you aware of who Lil Nas X is?
Yes. Yesterday, shout out to my man Nashby. Shout out to my man Dominic, Justin DeWitt, bro. We were in TV newscast class, and it was playing It's Fire. I love it. Genius. Country trap is a fire idea.
So,
crazy.
Have you heard the controversy surrounding it?
Yeah, with, they're not trying to nominate his song and all the other stuff.
Yeah, so for the people who don't know, Lil Nas X is a new up-and-coming... I don't even want to call him a SoundCloud rapper.
We're going to call him a country trapper, huh? You like that?
Well, that's where the problem is, because we're not quite sure what to call him. Yeah. So he had his first hit song or meme or whatever you want to call it. What is it called? Old country song? Something?
It's fire.
I don't remember the name of it. I was just listening to it on the way over here. It is called... Old Town Road. Mm-hmm. So the song is, like you said, it's like a country trap infusion here. But when the song originally broke, it really got steam on the app TikTok. It's like a new Vine-ish type of app. it caught steam on there, then eventually it got ripped from YouTube and then was put on Apple Music and all these things. And it was originally labeled a country song. And with the growing steam, it made it onto the Billboard charts. And I think it got as high, on the country charts at least, I think it got to as high as, don't quote me on this, but I want to say somewhere high 60s, somewhere up there.
Not bad.
On the country, Billboard Country Top 100. But then just recently, I think maybe 2 days ago now, Billboard silently just took it off of the country music list. And when asked about it, they said that his song did not possess country elements to it.
How convenient.
So on my way over here, I just decided to do some digging on, because my initial reaction to it was, no, it's not country. So I don't, and I don't really see the problem, because the first thing that came to my mind was there's a Georgia Florida Line song.
I was thinking that too.
And it has like, the 808 beats to it. And it basically sounds like a rap song,
it does.
But just with a country twang on it and talking about horses and all that type of stuff. So I was like, okay, but that's clearly not a hip hop song though.
Right.
And it wasn't on the hip hop charts, and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But then this happened and everybody's like, well, he's black, and they took it off. So obviously he's not country because he's black. And I don't know. I was trying to do some digging, and honestly, it just becomes so much more confusing because I was looking at what other country stars have made songs that sound sort of like rap. And none of them get listed as rap songs. They all get listed as country songs, but they share almost completely hip-hop elements. They'll have an 808 beat or some sort of like break beat going on.
A rapper on it even sometimes.
Sometimes they'll have rapping on it, but the content will still be on my tractor, on my trailer, this, that, and this. But my whole thing about it is country music as a genre has been going through an identity crisis probably since the early 90s. No country music is country music, really.
Facts.
Like nothing
it's
is
pop.
Not even that. I don't know. It's just like pandering almost. It's like every song is, I'm on my tractor, it's like
heartbreak.
Yeah, well, not even that. It's just literally surface level country stuff. It's like, this is what you think country music is, so let me just go ahead and do that. So I don't know, man. It's just really weird. I almost think it's almost like country music died a while ago, and I just think they're in denial. Right. And now that someone has come in and tried to take it and reframe it and take it in a new direction, they're just like, nah, man, this isn't country music.
Man, closing out on that thought too, Tyrone, I think that if country music as a genre was smart, they would include Lil Nas X, because he can actually make country music bump. You can get a whole different demographic. You can get a black audience. You can get people that have no interest in country music to finally be interested in it and feel included. Second of all, somebody posted this, and I thought about it as well, on Beyonce's, I think it was Eliminated. It could be a different album.
Right, I heard about
Don't
this.
Kill Me. But one of those songs was a clear country song. Like, there was no R&B to it. There was no rap to it. It was literally like the little I swear, from start to finish. And it was not nominated. It was not on the billboards. None of that stuff. And that showed, even when you go by their criteria, they still don't want to include sometimes black artists. So I think that this is deeper, because when we think about country music, we don't, unlike hip-hop, with hip-hop, it doesn't matter what color you are. Sometimes you being non-black helps your brand even more, like a Post Malone, or Eminem. So I think that this kind of frustrates people somewhat too, because we're like, with our music, we're so inclusive, but then with country music, it's like, no. Like, even if you go by the rules, we're still not going to accept you. So
and it almost, and it's so funny to bring it back to Joe Budden. They were having an argument on their last podcast about a J-Lo song with Ja Rule, and they were like, is this a rap song? Is it a pop song? And it's almost kind of like open my eyes, like, what is any genre? Right. So, because like I said, I heard that the Beyonce song, Lil Nas X song, I listened to some Luke Bryan song where he was talking about putting 35s on his truck or something. Wow. And then another big one that people forget about, that Young Thug released a country album not too long ago. And it's no one even refers to it as a country album. So it's almost like, what is any genre of music? What makes something hip hop versus especially now when genres are getting so blurred and everybody from different cultures are experimenting with different sounds.
And we got to be included.
I don't know, man. It's almost just like it's a real weird thing, music, especially with music law and, you know, what makes this that and what doesn't make it that. It's very blurred line. So I think what the first thing they should do is to try to just come up with some sort of clear-cut definition, which I don't think it ever will because music is subjective, but some clear-cut or umbrella thing where they're like, okay, this is what country music sounds like. This is what hip-hop sounds like.
Right.
This is what, you know, it's just really weird. You can never...
We got to be included, man. And I think that country music has to evolve. Country music has to have different faces. Like, we can't constantly see just the same color. Like, it has to be diverse. America is diverse. And there's more than just a white country person. You have black people that's in the country. You may have an Indian person, East Indian. Like, there's so many different people that live in the outskirts of America, and it's not just one group. So I think that this Lil Nas X is actually a genius. He sparked a great conversation. So I'm very interested to see where all of this goes and where it leads to. It's going to be very cool.
Yeah. And I think what'll really determine is whatever his next big song will be.
Yep. If he stays consistent.
But honestly, that's going to probably be weird because then that's going to push him further into whatever box they want to put him in. Because say his next song, it's just a, you know, regular trappy rap sounding song. They're going to be like, see, yeah, you're going to be like, told you, you're not country. That's so let's take all your other stuff off of that. But then if he leans into it further and it's just like, I am a country star, then I'll have to rethink. But me personally, with everything still considered, I don't really think it's a country song.
Facts.
I just think it's a trap song that, because I mean, you wouldn't say a hip hop song that samples like a Latin song. You wouldn't call that Latin music. It's a hip hop song. Facts. So I don't know.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
It's all weird.
We'll see. Tyrone, man, before we leave, is there any artists or anything that you got going on that you would like for us to be knowledgeable about right now?
I will say, as of recently, I've been getting really big on my female MCs.
Okay.
So a couple female MCs I'm really, really, really liking right now. Megan Thee Stallion from Houston, Texas.
I'll check that out.
And Rico Nasty from Atlanta.
I've been hearing that.
Love Rico Nasty. And there's just so many. I'm finding so many like every day now. It seems like my whole, I don't know what happened.
It's expanding.
I don't know if it's because of the rise of Cardi B and her opening the door for, or if I'm just, you know, getting in touch with my feminine side. I don't know what it is, but I seem to be seeing female artists everywhere now, and I'm a fan of all of them. So
Facts.
Female MCs, keep doing your thing.
Facts. Tyrone, man, thank you for putting me on game. So I'm about to check that out this weekend. Thanks to you, man. And thank you for another dope podcast, bro. It's what we do.
No problem, man.
Lorenzo, shout out to you, man. Everybody, video team. Also, Khalif Robinson again. Thank you, man. That was a great interview. That one's doing numbers. So with this one, show love as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with your mom, your auntie, everybody. Show love. And you guys are watching and listening to the statement. You guys be easy. Peace.
Have a good one, guys.
Good work, fellas. And we can get Lorenzo out of here, man. We can get to work.